Well, we are the Lancasters of Lancaster. It has happened. We haven't actually talked to you since January, so it's been 3 months almost.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little longer than we've been doing, but we've been a little bit busier uh, in that last 3 months. It's been a kind of intense season for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. You want to kind of update on where we are and what's going on?
Well, we are currently now staying in Lancaster, Ohio, where we are being able to work out of for the um, Midwest Central and more the Midwest churches for the vineyard. But we are also, as many of you know, are fulfilling currently an interim senior pastor role for the Lancaster Vineyard Church in Lancaster, Ohio. And
It's a lot of Lancasters.
it's a lot of Lancasters. And and yes, the church just enjoys making a big deal out of saying Lancaster and Lancaster. They really exaggerate it. But this past couple months has really been about getting here, getting set up, kind of getting a rhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't mean we haven't been doing other things as well as far as the ministry goes since our last one. There's been a couple of big things, like you went to Columbia.
I went to Columbia and did some things there with leadership. I might add that in the last couple of months, due partly because of the increase in our schedule. I just the tightness of our schedule now that we're kind of planted in a single church a lot. The work that we've done in Columbia, I've been leading that partnership for, I think, at least 12, 13 years. And we felt like it was time. We had some new partners. One of our new partner churches is pastored by a Colombian, and we just felt the Lord on that, and it was time to turn that over. So I have stepped away from the leadership role in the Columbia partnership that I've led, and have new leadership there. We'll stay involved, but on a peripheral level. And it just, again, the timing just seemed right with everything else going on. It just was the right time to do that. We did that, and then we were at our missions conference, the Vineyards MLM missions conference
Which was global this year.
Was global. Then we had people from all over the world. Some of I always say when I think about that MLM conference, that is a conference full of some of my heroes. It's just the people there are amazing stories. And so we did that. That was right at the end of February, I believe. And then we visited. We were at the MLMP conference in Urbana and had some just some powerful encounters there. But for the most part, we have been here at the church in Lancaster. What has surprised you the most, just being back in the pastoral role like we have been?
One, it is. I had to chuckle because it was like, we preached a lot, but when we were going around and traveling and doing what we do, we speak a lot, but it's like you're not thinking in terms of series and planning out. I mean, you usually have around 6, 7 messages you're going to preach in a year or whatever. But then first thing I had to do, and we got into this again, was sitting down with the team and looking at the calendar and starting to lay out a preaching calendar for months ahead and what we're going to do and who's going to do what and all that. But I've enjoyed it, and what has surprised me is how quickly I believe we've meshed well with the team here.
I agree.
There's some really amazing people, good people, and how this did not surprise me as such, but how welcoming everybody has been, and genuinely they're working hard to make sure that we believe Ohio is our home.
Uh,
We'll come back from a
well,
trip and there's some little thing sitting on my desk somebody has left from in the church that is reinforcing subliminally
Lancaster, Ohio, as
Lancaster, Ohio
home.
is home.
Welcome home,
Welcome home.
and it's, you know what, it has. They did name the city after it, so I mean that's a pretty bold statement.
I don't know, it just, we always tell people look for the fingerprints of God or the signs God is giving you in every place we turn.
We don't. This is not saying we think we're going to live here for a while, but we are here. I expect for certainly the rest of this year, and I'd be surprised if it doesn't extend into the spring next year. But but that's okay. I think the surprise is, I agree, how quickly we have felt really genuinely connected. I think I thought we might come into this interim role and be, just kind of be an extension of the other ministry we've been doing, and feel more like you're a consultant to somebody else's house. And I think that's just simply not the way it feels. We have genuinely, very quickly, we just have literally fallen in love with some of the people and the staff and the teams we're working with, and it feels like home right now, right? I think the God's given the grace on it for that, and so we're really enjoying this more than I think I thought I would. I honestly went in. I kind of tend to want to be on the road. You know that if you've watched us for a while. I like going and I like busy, and my motto is always kind of like, my favorite place is the next one. And I thought it might be a little hard for me in particular to settle in and be content in this. And actually, it's more than content. I'm enjoying this much more than I anticipated.
And it still fits in with it's a new term we've learned, but our just cause. In other words, our life mission of encouraging and building up and equipping the church and its leaders. And that is what we're doing here, even in this role. But we're still working and doing the other things that we have been doing. We're just not going to be doing it 4 weekends a month, being someplace new every weekend, but still being able to get out and to do that. And we've been to Crystal Lake, Illinois, just got back from there, and down to Arlington, Texas, and the upcoming months we have, on average,
at least 2 a month up through August. Where we'll be in other churches doing some of the things that we've been doing. We'll be doing here locally a missions area meeting for the Vineyard Mission stuff between now and July, and then we have the Vineyard National Conferences that Marie and I will be attending. We have 2 conferences in the nation. We have one in Denver, one in Cincinnati, and we will be going to both of those to serve Vineyard Missions. So, and that a women's conference coming up a little bit later. So we
know we have at least one international trip later this year.
Yeah. So we're still very busy with what we have been doing, but we have also very much intentionally pulled it back. So it's going to be well less than half of what we have been experiencing the last couple of years.
Which I'm not opposed to that, because as you know, like he admitted just a few minutes ago, that he likes to be full schedule, very busy, on the road all the time. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be okay with a little bit slower pace on that, but still very much busy and engaged and doing what it is God calls us to do.
Well, it's fun. We joke about it with the stuff that we normally do. We get to blow in, say what we want to, and blow out, and somebody else has to clean up the mess. Well,
now we say it, and we have to clean up our own mess.
Now we're the ones cleaning up the messes. It's been good. We for those who wonder about the RV, we're in the RV again. We vacated it in February, put it in storage, and came up here. I guess that was right at the 1st of February, wasn't it?
At the 1st of February.
So we put this in storage in Texas because at the time we were coming up here, it was like below freezing for for 2 weeks in a row, and I just didn't want to subject the RV to that, not knowing I'd never done that before with the rig. So we put it in storage. Came up here, stayed in a nice a basement apartment that some
local pastor
friends put us up in, and we did all right there. That was pretty nice.
That was they were very hospitable and generous to us, and it was a good 8 weeks we were there. 6 weeks,
7 or 8 weeks, and Marie says they were apologetic. It's small, and we get here, get there, and it's like 800 square feet, and I'm thinking,
no, it was over 900 square feet.
That's well over double the size of what we normally live in. So it was like living in a luxury palace for a little bit. But we had to go back and get the RV at the end of March. Really, it was just a little bit ago. So we drove it up from Houston. That is a long drive.
Trip.
Brought it back up here, and we've been set up now for about a week. Not quite a week yet. And so that's kind of the adventure we've been on. We did 3,500 miles round trip to go get the RV and bring it back, and navigated Dallas traffic in the process as we were speaking in Arlington. And we have decided that we don't ever want to drive this through Dallas traffic again.
Road construction ever again.
But we're settled in. We're doing well. The church is really doing well. The church has responded tremendously, and we're facing right now. We're setting up, preparing for Easter Sunday this weekend. And again, the church has responded tremendously. There's a lot of energy. The Lord has been moving. We've had salvations and baptisms and healings just in the last 4 or 5 weeks. And the church is excited, and we're really anticipating this next few weeks being a time of real momentum for this church as they go and search for their forever pastor or their long-term pastor. But it's exciting to get to be part of that, seeing some of the healing that's already happened, being able to set up some systems and things for them will help the church to move forward with whoever they bring in. But again, we're doing well. We're excited about what God's doing right now, and we're grateful, maybe more than ever for you guys who follow us, support us, pray for us. We feel it. We've needed it. This is as good as it is. It hasn't been the easiest thing we've ever done either. So
I can tell you this: if in power of prayer, in the last 2 weeks, I know it's the prayers that have made the difference in our travels as we put out the requests. But we've had 3 very close calls like we haven't seen in decades.
Yep.
And it was like, I told Duke, I said, once, that's kind of normal driving. But when you have 3 very close calls in 2 weeks, that's when I was like I said, I think somebody's out to get us. Which is usually a sign to me that, this is probably what God is doing. And I have no doubt this is what God is doing.
It's a privilege. It's a privilege that we have, and we have the privilege of even the really the mobility to be allowed to step into something like this. Not as we've met and talked with different people about even what we're doing here. The reality is it's needed all over. There's a lot of need for somebody to be able to step into a church in crisis and be able to help lead and navigate through that as they put down some more permanent solutions. But the privilege of being able to be mobile. The Lord told us to become mobile is the first thing we heard in this journey. not really understanding what that meant or why. But even just in this, just that realization that our ability to be mobile gave us the opportunity to step into this situation that would
Absolutely.
have been really, really difficult otherwise in any other way.
Mhm.
And so we're just grateful. We're grateful again. We're grateful for you who have believed in us and supported this work that we're doing through everything. So we just bless you
Yes.
and are just humbled and again just we're just so thankful for you.
So as we are coming into Easter this coming weekend, we just want to bless you and thank you. And may you experience the life and the power of the resurrection where you are. God is definitely moving not only across the US, but across the world. I know we say that a lot, but He is, and it's increasing in ever increasing measure. And my word for you is this is that the season's changing. There's transition
Mm-hmm.
and it's moving forward. And be looking where you are to see what it is He's doing where you are, because I guarantee you, He is doing something.
So happy Easter.
We love you.
Bye.